Sirpur, India, the Sarang Tila Temple. This structure, which dates back to the 7th century AD, was recently unearthed after being buried by a powerful earthquake that occurred in the 11th century. Although the rest of the area was completely leveled, the structure itself remained largely intact. Archaeologists suggest that this is due to the advanced construction techniques known as Ayurvedic or Vedic architecture utilized by its builders. The principles they used are derived from the ancient science of design that can be traced back to the ancient Indian texts. In March 2017, researcher and ancient astronaut theorist Georgios Tsoukalos traveled to India to meet with archaeologist Dr. Arun Sharma, who headed the dig.
This is beautiful.
These are the steps. The steps, they are not straight. On the two corners, they have uplifted, got uplifted. This is the effect of the earthquake that happened here in 11th century AD. But rest of the township was totally destroyed.
Really? Now, is this considered Ayurvedic architecture right here?
Yes, Vedic architecture. The temple is built of heavy stones and joined by Ayurvedic paste, which is so strong that even after 1600 years, it is not dead.
That's amazing. Huh.
Now I will show you the original mortar places.
Okay.
Although much of the site has been renovated using modern concrete, blocks held together by the Ayurvedic paste can still be found.
Here, you see between the two stones, there is no gap. So here Ayurvedic paste was applied.
It seems to be almost like some type of glue.
Yes, it is a glue. They have not moved from their place. It is such a firm joining. If you want to make it live long, you follow the ancient pattern, not the cement. Cement has got the life of 70 years.
The glue-like substance is said to form a bond that is at least 20 times stronger than concrete. But modern builders have been unwilling to entertain the notion that such an ancient concoction could be superior to today's building materials.
Wow, look at this. Beautiful.
The detailed instructions for making this paste can be found in an ancient Indian text known as the Maya Matam, a manuscript dedicated to construction techniques. The information contained within the document is understood to have been passed down to humans from Mayasura, the ancient king of the demigods, who was said to oversee various construction projects on Earth, including cities in the sky.
Now we are in front of one sanctum sanctorum. And just at the entry point, here is the slit.
Curiously, there is a more astounding earthquake-proof feature at the site, which indicates that advanced knowledge was used in its construction. Located at key points within the Sarang Tila Temple are several 80-foot-long shafts designed to form air pockets that can dissipate the impact of seismic events.
The book in which all this is described, I will show you.
Yes, please.
This is the book.
All right.
It is in 2 volumes.
Wow.
2 volumes. Every detail is given.
Oh, wow, this is big. It's a huge book. And this text has been around for 4,500 years.
Which traveled from mouth to mouth. When the writing started, then it was written down.
In your opinion, where did this knowledge come from?
Those who are more advanced in other planets used to visit the Earth, and I think they must have given some knowledge to the local people.
And you think that this knowledge originated from the stars?
I think there was a part played by these aliens.
It's amazing.
Honshu, Japan, April 2017. Near the modern-day city of Osaka, Georgios Tsoukalos meets with fellow ancient astronaut theorist Takaharu Mikami to investigate one of the oldest and holiest sites in the country, the Ishinohoden megalith, a Shinto shrine said to be inhabited by an otherworldly being.
これが石の宝殿ですね。
Wow. It's gigantic. This is... I had no idea. I mean, it is massive.
そうですね。だいたい5メーターから6メーターぐらいの。
The rock itself is said to weigh about 500 tons.
500 tons?
Yes.
Wow.
そしてこういう石にもですね。
This is said to have the soul of a god or kami inside it.
Okay, so to this day, this is the belief that some type of spirit lives in this, or that the rock itself has spirit.
岩倉っていう
The spirit of the god is inside, and the stone carries a special spiritual meaning now.
Okay, that's amazing. I need to walk around. I mean, I had no idea how massive this is.
ちょうどこれは下を見てください。
So do you want to just look down below here?
浮いてるように見えます。
It looks like it's floating over the water.
It really does.
天の浮石。
The name for this rock is Amano Ukiishi, or the floating rock from the heavens.
そうです。まさにこの岩を作った神様の一人。
So this monolith is said to be related to one of the first gods that descended from the heavens to Japan, and he is said to have traveled over the country on a skyship made out of a giant rock, which was called Amano Iwahune, which is the heavenly rock ship.
So what you're telling me is that there is an ancient Japanese legend that speaks of a deity flying around in the sky with a gigantic vehicle made of stone?
まさしくそうです。
Absolutely.
So do you think that is the reason why it was called a vehicle made of stone? Because it was so powerful and strong and virtually indestructible that the story became it's a vehicle made of stone.
空から見て地上を見た。
You're absolutely right, because the gods were flying over the land on a giant ship. It wasn't a plane because it didn't have wings. It looked like a ship made out of very hard material that was like a very hard stone, and they would descend from the heavens and down onto the land, and thus they would travel around the country.
Another name for Ishinohoden is floating stone. So what did they mean by that? The way that this is constructed here, it seems as if it's hovering. So, did they perhaps try to recreate one of those hovering or flying skyships that they themselves witnessed? And what's so interesting to me about this massive monolith is that there are no apparent tool marks to be found at any place across the stone. How did ancient people possibly quarry and form this rock to such exacting precision without sophisticated tools?
Saqqara, Egypt, 1850. While on an expedition to recover ancient manuscripts for the Louvre Museum in Paris, French Egyptologist Auguste Mariette spots a strange object sticking out of the sand. Intrigued, Mariette has the sand cleared away and finds large rocks blocking what looks to be the entrance to an underground chamber. After using explosives to remove them, he gains entrance to a tomb complex, also known as the Serapeum. In April 2018, ancient astronaut theorist Georgios Tsoukalos and Egyptologist and Cairo native Rami Rahmani visited this mysterious site.
The Serapeum of Saqqara, Georgia. Magnificent. The name Serapeum comes from Serapis, which is Apis, bull, and Osiris, combined together in one Greek god.
Located deep beneath the desert surface lies a 790-foot-long passageway. There, within a series of alcoves, neatly carved out of the limestone rock, are 24 gigantic stone sarcophagi. Each sarcophagus measures approximately 13 feet long, 7.5 feet wide, and over 10 feet tall. But just how the ancient Egyptians managed to transport these massive granite boxes remains unknown, as does their intended purpose.
So this is one of the most mysterious places in all of Egypt, Giorgio.
Look how far all this goes. The boxes themselves are, what, 70 to 75 tons? And then the lids are estimated to be 20 to 25 tons.
It's one of the most mysterious things about this place is really how they managed to bring these heavy structures all the way down here when we're breathing heavily just to get to the end.
Can we actually go down to some of these?
Of course we can.
Wow. You know, I've always read about these, I've seen pictures, but it's humongous. You can walk underneath it.
As far as conventional Egyptologists and archaeologists are concerned, the sarcophagi were meant to house the remains of the sacred Apis bulls. But as only one of the tombs was found to contain animal remains, and all the others were found empty, the true nature of the Serapeum is a source of deep contention.
The Apis bull is a representation for god Osiris. And there's something very important to mention. Ancient Egyptians did not worship animals. Their concept was the gods sent the animals to be their messengers, and we have to respect them in that way.
It was said that the first ever Apis bull was created when a ray of light came down from heaven itself and struck this cow who produced the first Apis bull. So there is some relationship between the bull itself and the stars.
The sides and also here at the bottom, the polishing is perfect. And we can illustrate this by just looking at the angle. I mean, it's a perfect 90-degree angle. Check this out. It is absolute perfection. It's easy to cut limestone, but to cut basalt is, that's a different story. What do these inscriptions here say?
These inscriptions were extremely important. You see the doors, specifically the so-called false doors. They were the doors that allowed the spirit, the Ka and the Pa, the spirit and the soul, to come out from the mummy and then read the hieroglyphic inscriptions. They wanted to make sure that these Apis bulls come back to life, go to eternity, so they could stay with Osiris in the sky.
Ancient historians' accounts like Herodotus, Strabo, Eusebius, all of these old chroniclers speak of a former glory age of Egypt known as the Golden Age, which some have suggested dates back as far as 10,500 BC. So is it possible that what we have right here may be a remnant of that time?
When it comes to dating, I don't have a response. I can't tell you for a fact that this was made 3,000 years ago. Till today, there's a debate on when were these made.
Sardinia, Italy, May 2018. Oak Island treasure hunter Marty Lagina has invited Giorgio Tsoukalos to help him explore Sardinia's mysterious structures and offer his unique perspective. Local guide Ivana Malu has taken them to the well of Santa Cristina, an ancient structure believed to have been built sometime around 1800 BC.
Signor Zedda, come stai? Sono Giorgio.
They are met by archaeoastronomer Mauro Pepino Zedda.
No, wait a minute, Aspetta.
Yeah, prego.
These are modern, right? This is reproduction. No, I mean it. No,
I know.
This is reproduction.
It's what people say. When they are here, they say, oh, Ivana, that's a fake. What is that here? Can you imagine the well here is 3,000 years old?
No, honestly, these are the original stones?
Really, believe me.
Wow.
100%. That is built to last for the eternity.
Well, this is spectacular.
The well of Santa Cristina demonstrates such incredible masonry skill that archaeologists struggle to explain how it was built by so-called primitive people. Based on his years of research, Giorgio believes that the stonework may provide important clues for the theory that a race of extraterrestrial giants once inhabited the island.
Do you want to touch with your hand the sophistication of the wall?
Yes.
Here we go.
Unbelievable.
Look at this. It is round. It's a perfect circle. You can't put a piece of paper. There's no mortar used to put this stuff together. I mean, è incredibile questo.
Not only is it constructed beautifully, the foundation is below the water table, okay? That's very hard to do. I can tell you from Oak Island, working in the water is difficult. Yeah. This is spectacular.
Santa Cristina Holy Well is one of the most important sites in Sardinia. It's part of a Nuragic settlement that dates back to 1500 BC, with Nuragi towers, menhirs, standing stones, and everything else there. But the most interesting part of that is this very sophisticated well. It's the most precision-carved stonework I've seen in all of the Mediterranean, really. It's almost like it was built by the Egyptians or the Peruvian stonemasons. It's so advanced.
It's very fascinating. The walls around here, any child can do this. You don't need any sophisticated technology to do this. But that in there, especially if you think that there was no written record, how was this preconceived? Somebody had to think about it. Clearly, there's two types of builders that were present there, because you have the well, which is absolute perfect stonemasonry, and then you have the walls around it that clearly were created by a later culture, because it's not sophisticated at all. It's just a bunch of stones thrown together. Yet the well that goes deep into the ground, it is unlike anything that I've ever seen. The question is, there was no written language. How was this planned? Because if you look at this from above, it's this keyhole shaped, and that to me is fascinating.
I have not seen anything quite like this, okay? I'm literally wowed by this.
Clearly, someone told the local people how to place these stones into different areas, because it was a connection to the celestial realm.
So you're surmising the technology was given to these people.
The engineering knowledge, because this screams mathematics.
Yes, it does. I will certainly concur to this extent. Someone or some ones had extraordinary knowledge here. This is not easy to build.
No.